What's up, everybody? As always, my name is Connor Hamilton, here with my co-host Nathan Hamilton. Again, no hi. So, second episode. This is the Trivial Conversation show where we talk about, trivial things. And this week we're going to talk about superhero movies. So right now we kind of have two main groups going. We got your DC, your Batman, your Superman, your Wonder Woman, etc. Then you have Marvel, which is like Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor. There's like 70 other ones now. So what do you think about them?
They're good.
You like them?
You didn't really set me up for much of that.
So people always talk about, when you hear people talking about superhero movies, is there's gonna be like a big bubble that's about to burst. Because there's like 35 movies coming out between now, 2016, and like 2020. So like, do you think all these movies can be successful and make millions of dollars still, or do you think there's gonna be a couple movies that don't do too well, or do you think they're all kind of just gonna go downhill and be a garbage truck on fire?
I think the overall qualities of all the superhero movies is gonna have to go up. Like, everyone's starting to like almost try to raise the bar, and everyone's including like 4 or 5 superheroes in every movie, and hopefully that will eventually make for better directing and better dialogue, and hopefully we can look back on this like superhero age of all this stuff and say like, wow, people actually made really good movies out of something that was based off a comic book.
I think there are a couple of those out there too, like The Dark Knight. People still consider that to be like the greatest comic book movie of all time. You got like the Avengers, the original Iron Man, 2 and 3 I think were trash. Like 2 was really bad, but 3 was just disappointing. And then people like all the Avengers movies. Ant-Man I thought was pretty good. Like what in terms of quality you're thinking about them stepping up, as in terms of like Oscar bait type movies? Like, do you have Black Panther include things like slavery and like the exploitation of like African nations, like, and then he just beats the shit out of a couple of guys too, and just call that a rap? Or what do you really?
Well, I don't know if superhero movies can take like a social standpoint in all of this, even though many things have crossed over like that, such as NBA players wearing like I Can't Breathe shirts, like different types of sports things that are also supporting things that aren't sports. So I feel like superhero movies could cross into that, but not as much as like, not to make a huge movement out of anything.
I don't know. And how do you see these movies performing going forward? Because you got your Batman v Superman, which is either gonna be awesome or like a totally awesome train wreck to watch happen as Warner Brothers burns all their money to the ground. And then of course probably the day after this is posted, the Suicide Squad trailer just dropped. It's got Joker, Deadshot, sets of Bohemian Rhapsody. That's kind of the approach DC is taking. And then on the Marvel side, you have Civil War, which is it's supposed to be like pretty dark. There's another one coming out this year. Doesn't matter though. I think it's the new Thor one.
God,
nobody likes those movies.
they're not that good. I don't understand how he's a superhero. He's definitely like a god, but
I don't know. And I'm really looking forward to Black Panther, of course, as I mentioned already before.
Does that come out in 2018?
Maybe. That or 2017. It's directed by Ryan Coogler, who, if you guys don't know, I know he's the last name. He directed Creed, and like, it's nominated for some Oscars. I know Stallone is nominated for Best Supporting Actor. I think he has screenplay too. I don't know. I don't really care that much about the Oscars, but I mean, like, and he made Fruitvale Station 2, which was also just an awesome movie. Like, do you think these big studios bringing in talent like that, do you think that can like rejuvenate these movies?
I don't think you really need to rejuvenate them because they're already making a ton of money. But maybe take the next forward in superhero filmmaking. But We'll eventually have to come to a point where only quality movies are getting made, or their studios are going to stop producing these superhero movies. If there's 35 of them and 30 of them suck, those 30 characters and stuff are probably not going to have as big a role in anything anymore.
I got you on that, but like, how do you feel about in Ant-Man? Spoilers for Ant-Man. If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it. Really fun movie. Falcon shows up, who was like Captain America's big old buddy, and he has a fight with Ant-Man. So I mean, do you feel like characters like Thor or even Ant-Man himself, those who don't really have those huge successful movies, do you feel like they should be integrated as kind of like background characters into this overall massive cinematic universe that they have now?
That's one way you can go with it, but if it's like too many characters, one thing I didn't really like about the Avengers is there's like almost 18 superheroes, and it was like they didn't get enough screen time. I feel like you couldn't just focus on like one and be like, damn, that dude's really cool, but it was like there's like 18 of them, and you're like almost overloaded, and it's hard to really pay attention to anything that's going on, which I feel like the overall story, if there's 18 superheroes, kind of the quality goes down.
Well, so the new Captain America, the approach is it's Civil War, so in the comic books is this big, huge thing. The government should like control superheroes because they need like boundaries, which I think is a super interesting aspect to take superheroes into, especially with like government conspiracy and things. People not really liking the government so far in this year. Like that being said, though, I mean, there's with Civil War, you have all these characters. You got Captain America himself, Bucky, Falcon, Scarlet Witch. I think Vision's in there. They're introducing Black Panther, Iron Man. You have all these huge characters, but they're specifically focusing on Captain America. So do you think that's an approach they could take?
It'll be hard to continue on a story like Civil War if you just made all the movies about Captain America. So I feel like a lot of people are going to be like, man, I really like Iron Man. I wish he had some more screen time. It would also be really hard if you were like, if you did a part of it of Captain America and part of it Iron Man and the last part like Black Panther. Like, almost seems to me like more of a stretch, and you don't really get the full feel of everything.
Okay, so last thing, with these two superhero universes we have, DC, the Marvel. We mostly talk about Marvel, but so DC is building their universe in a totally different way. You have Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Justice League, and then they disperse out and create their own properties. Whereas Marvel did methodical, like Iron Man, Captain America, Iron Man 2, Thor. Probably seen. Oh yeah, that Hulk movie. But I don't know.
Spider-Man in the mix now?
Yeah, he is now. It's ridiculous. But they did that methodical approach into the Avengers.
Yeah.
So whose approach do you like more and why?
DC's, because then you can have background characters, and then they become their own thing. Kind of establish themselves more. And it's not as much as like they're already established, and you already have like feelings about this character. Like for me, I was like, dude, Iron Man's awesome. He's my homie. Then like the amount of screen time he's getting with, and then trying to like mix a whole Hulk scientist thing into it, it was almost like you're not giving us all that we want. You know what I mean? So I definitely like DC's approach a lot better.
I like DC's movies more, even though there's only one. I really like.
No, there's definitely like Batman movies. And
I'm talking about this like cinematic universe they're building up towards the Justice League. So we haven't seen Ben Affleck as Batman yet. We haven't seen Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. You haven't seen Jason Momoa as Aquaman in action in like a 2-hour movie epic. But I mean, honestly, I like Zack Snyder as director.
Is he directing all of these movies?
I know he did Man of Steel, which I really enjoyed. Like the fight scenes. Oh my god, it's so
they
good.
Were fantastic.
And they're just throwing each other across the city.
It wasn't even like this fight. They're just chucking each other and like shooting laser beams.
Oh man, it was so rad. And then I know he's directing Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I have a feeling that movie's just gonna be a hot mess. And then I know somebody else is directing Suicide Squad. David Ayer directed End of Watch. You know, makes really dark movies, so it fits in perfectly.
What's Suicide Squad?
Yeah, and then Justice League 1 and 2. Part 1 and Part 2.
Oh, my heart.
I know. That's also being directed by Zack Snyder.
They already announced that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they have a plan, Nathan.
Wow.
And then, do you know who James Wan is?
The Chosen One?
Yeah, he directed The Conjuring, Saw.
Oh.
He's directing Aquaman. So I want to know.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, like there was a really recent Aquaman run where like these like scary monsters from the deep started like coming up, and they're like giant fish people. They started because it's comic book.
Comic books.
They came up and they just started like eating people. Like there was some like nasty gore in there and whatnot. Like Aquaman like ripped some of them in half. And you know you have
DC's gone more adult then.
yeah. And then you have Jason Momoa's Aquaman, who, like, if you haven't seen Game of Thrones, he plays this, like, tribal war leader, and, like, he, like, rips dudes' throats out and, like, feeds it back to him. So, like, I want to know what kind of tone they're planning on taking with these movies. But, you know, as always, I'm really interested to see.
I really hope they take it dark.
Yeah.
I'm almost sick of the whole Marvel, like you're fighting someone, and they, like, turn around and, like, say a joke, and then, like, keep on fighting people. Like, I say, like, let's get nice and gritty into it. Like, we're not making superhero movies for kids anymore.
I don't know. I feel like there's a market for that, though.
There definitely is, but the market for adults has become a lot bigger
Uh-huh.
in the last couple of years.
And I really like, too, with DC movies, you're taking more of these, like, mythological beings approach. Like, Superman is literally Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Talks about him
Batman
being a
is
god.
basically, like,
The people's
the
champion.
nastiest vigilante in
He's
the
like
world.
pretty much Hercules in that sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so, like, I mean, I feel like they can take a more, like, storied and mature approach to it, and then you have these two different companies with two different approaches to superheroes, and I feel like if they're different enough, 'cause, you know, you had Winter Soldier, which was, like, a political drama a little bit, and then, like, Iron Man 3 was, like, about, like, depression and, post-traumatic stress disorder.
It wasn't.
But it has those like pieces in it, and then, like Man of Steel is a little bit more like a messiah story of like how this being comes with great power and something else comes, like the devil comes, Zod. Yeah, it's like fighting.
Can we just talk about for a minute how excited I am for the villain in Superman versus Batman?
Doomsday? Really though, you really think Ninja Turtle is the coolest part of that movie?
I'm really excited. I love Doomsday, especially from that. What was it called? That
Injustice?
Yeah, Injustice.
Yeah, that game's rad.
Doomsday looks like, dude. I'm really excited. I finally like that there's someone that's like could quite possibly take down everything that's like one person, not like a weird alien army from nowhere.
I'll give you that. So, at the end of the day, you can only live with one movie universe. Marvel or DC?
Oh, DC.
Oh, me too.
All day.
Me too.
DC.
Me too.
DC.
Good work, son.
ABC, DC.
Alright guys, so if you like that video, go ahead, hit the like. Should be right here. Nate, the subscribe button should be below you.
We're off. You know.
I don't know where it is. Let's be honest here. We're not the most professional video series out here. Go ahead and comment, like, subscribe, do the usual thing. You know what to do at this point. And as always, we like to end each of these videos with a quote from The Filmmaker Says. Has a bunch of different filmmakers in here, really inspired me to kind of start filming, do stuff on my own, and all that. So this week's comes from James Cameron, and it says, pick up a camera, shoot something, no matter how small, no matter how cheesy, no matter whether your friends or your sister starred it. Put your name on it as a director. Now you're a director. Everything after that, you're just negotiating your budget and your fee. So, I'm following his advice. I'm having my sister star in this video series. Go ahead and come here next week. And what are we going to talk about next week, Nick?
I think I'd get this far.
True. We'll leave it up to a coin flip. We'll see you next week.